Hello. Well, welcome back to your favorite show, the show that we call TS. This is a show where we tell it like it is and let the chips fall where they bloody hell may. And on the same program, this is what we say, man. Truth crashed to earth shall rise again. So it's based on that I've given advice to all the, what we call the apostles of Jandam, that please be warned, because now we are ready to crush any Jandam with the truth. We shall suffocate the Jandam with the truth. And I say Jandam can come from anywhere. Jandam means it's false, it's lies, it's false propaganda. Whichever angle is coming from, we shall suffocate it with the truth. Folks, and the final question I ask before we begin the show, you're all waiting for, I always ask, what time is it? And your answer, beautifully, is always the same. It's nation time. Okay, it's nation time. Oh man, today on Nation Time, let me start this way. Every Sunday we have a fantastic lunch buffet at Cactus Creek. Every Sunday. So I want to say that whether I announce it or not, come join us. We have a live band, we have great food, we have great friends, great company, and let's have a great time with our Sunday lunch buffet. To begin with, let me say a big congratulations to the Chief Justice, Honorable Justice Bafubone. Finally, it is done and dusted, and you have been confirmed our new Chief Justice. We wish you all the best. Now that I'm done with that, folks, you know what I want to talk about today? Listen to this. It is said, there's a tree, is a proverb, there's a tree proverb that I love so much. It says, se wuni bibia ema wasia me monokrono. I love that proverb. Let me repeat it. It says se wuni bibia ema wasia with the me monokrono. I mean, if you want to do a literal translation, what that means is this: if you don't have anything good for your in-laws, at least don't steal from them. And a literal translation, if you don't have anything good for your in-laws, at least don't steal from them. Literally, that's what it means. But figuratively, what it means is this: if you have nothing positive to say about something good, just shut up. If you don't have anything positive to say about something good, just shut up. Shut up is better than open your mouth and talking rubbish. If you have nothing to say good about something that is positive, just shut up. And folks, you'll be wondering why I'm saying this. Well, let me congratulate Arthur Forson. He's come up with his budget. Show him some love. And I don't want to talk about the budget. It's been out since last week. People have talked about the budget. But this is all I want to say regarding the budget. Folks, whether you like it or not, the budget is very good. Well, it may have one or two issues that we can address and we'll address later. But as it is now, folks, the budget is fantastic. It's a very, very, very solid budget. Okay? And so all I'm saying is this: if you don't have anything good to say about it, then just shut up. Don't say me, I don't like Arthur Forson, or I don't like the NDC or whatever. I'm going to find something bad to say about it. It doesn't make sense. I'm sure you've seen this clip. There's this MP from Trobo constituency or something who had nothing good to say about the budget. But why don't you shut up? Instead, she opened her big mouth and spewed absolutely rubbish. Listen to her.
That's true. So more you COVID levy if you and me a member of parliament, but me say a businesswoman. mature duty and make me the duty natural. COVID levy that so. The minister and say we year for meaning say be from tomorrow going to be reflected there. But as we speak, I general haste here there. Obia we in Nioma or ports no Obia or then the Nioma for the various body na and him say levy no a idea if that's what I you feel.
My goodness. You know, the only question you ask is how did this character find her way into parliament? That's the first troubling thing. For this character who's so clueless and so uneducated to even start talking about 2026 budget and talked about I bought something this morning and there was COVID levy in it. Massa, what sense does this make? Do you know how much good it would have been to her if you had just shut up? If you have nothing good to say, please shut up. You see, and the two things that are frightening me is this: how can a person like this end up in parliament? And you know the more frightening thing, you have many other parliamentarians who are possibly that ignorant, and these are lawmakers. Let's move on. I think Honorable Amin Adams, I think he was the one who replaced Ofriata. When they asked him something about the budget, and in a rush, I think he said something to the effect that there was nothing to it, it was shallow or something.
We can therefore, in conclusion, describe the 2026 budget, the Galamsey budget, as growthless, jobless, and minimalist budget.
Oh, folks, please stop providing this kind of entertainment. Mr. Amin Adams, it would have been much more respectable to have shut the hell up because what you said was rubbish. This budget is hollow. Now, let me say this thing, folks, just to set the record straight. You know, this is coming from Amin Adams, who was actually the deputy for King of Satire. Let me set this straight, Mr. Amin Adams. Your party in power had 8 solid years. Listen to me. It's not like you haven't done it before. You were in power for 8 solid years. You were there for 4 years and people started seeing signs, but they say, okay, let us give you 4 more. So you're actually giving 4 more. And after the 4 more, thank God, Ghanaians decided we have had enough. Because you are actually asking to break the 8. So you need a 4 more. Now, folks, sometimes I want you guys to think, just in case the government of the NPP has succeeded in breaking the 8, my goodness, where would Ghana be? All the filth and the rot and the stinking thievery and stealing going on at the NSS would have still been going on for another 4 more. And imagine, already in that 4 years, they are selling over 500 million. Imagine 4 more. What would have happened at the NLA? How many more award schemes they would have set up? Imagine Mustafa Hamid, after being all this righteous, wallahi, we shall rescue this country, wallahi. The president is so depraved.
This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi, inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Look at the mess and the rot. It would have been 4 more years more of Mustafa Hamid's thievery. So, folks, I just want you to understand something. Amin Adams, you were giving the chance. It's not that you are now trying to get the chance. So you were giving the chance. You had 8 bloody years. And all you left was nothing but theft, decay, and rot. So please, the worst thing you could have said when they asked you about the budget, saying, well, it looks good, but let's see how sustainable, something. But to open your mouth as an intelligent, respectable person with decency to say that was a shallow budget.
Empty budget. Hopeless, jobless, growthless.
Just because you want to be partisan, shame on you. So this message today, all I want to say is for every Ghanaian who, because they want to be partisan, or who, for whatever reason, thinks that nothing has happened, I am saying, please. You see, when I come here all the time and I say we are building the nation, I am not saying that too. Every right-thinking Ghanaian wants to build this nation. And when I say that so far from what we have seen, it's a good indication that we are on the right path, especially where we have just come from. We have come from a regime where the country was degraded, practically bankrupt. Now, even the so-called Standards and Poor's, they are upgrading Ghana's financial ability. And so to sit somewhere and say you have done nothing, please, just shut up. Just don't say anything. I'll have more respect for you if you don't say anything, but then try you're being intelligent, but in the end what you're spewing is spewing garbage. Like there's nothing, it's shallow. Are you serious? Are you serious? Let me say a quick thing before I move on. We're all in this country. And at a time when I think under the first NDC, I think the exchange rate had moved up to like 3 cedis and 80 pesos for the dollar. That was the time when Bawumia made his favorite and famous declaration that you can do all the propaganda you want. When the fundamentals of the economy are weak, the exchange rate will expose you.
The Ghana cedi has obtained the dubious distinction of being the weakest performing currency in Africa at this point in time. As the saying goes, when in doubt, observe the exchange rate. The lesson from history for governments is that you cannot manage the economy with propaganda. In fact, you can engage in all the propaganda you want, but if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you.
And Bawumia was hailed. This is the economic whiz kid. That is intelligence talking. Who didn't hear this statement? Everybody in Ghana had this statement. When the fundamentals of the economy are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. One auntie. Now, is it interesting that somehow when the exchange rate started improving, we were at once upon a time exchanging $1 for 17 cedis. When it started improving, and it dropped all the way to 12, improving to 11, even forwarding to 10. When it started dropping, I didn't hear Bawumia come back and say, well, this simply means by my own logic, this means that the fundamentals are now strong. That is why the exchange rate is performing. End of discussion. One account, so when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. When the exchange rate improved to the limit way above what you had even ever imagined, come back graciously and say, well, I guess this is an indication that the fundamentals are getting strong. And so naturally, the exchange rate is improving. No? Instead, what do you say? Oh, don't mind them. Nothing is happening. You call the NDC. No policy.
The appreciation of the city that we have seen recently. I think one of the things that if you ask a simple question to the NDC to point out exactly what policy they have implemented that has resulted in the appreciation of the city, they cannot tell you one that has been implemented, not sort of talked about, but actually implemented. They cannot tell you one such policy. So you cannot ascribe what is happening to the currency to a policy that they have implemented. There's no such policy that has been implemented that has had that impact yet.
Now here day, Massa, nothing is happening. Really? No, folks. So all I'm saying is this: if you don't have anything good to say, it's better to shut up. And I'm saying, especially for the lovers of the last regime we had, who even want to come back, please start with the basic admission that things are on the right path. What all of Ghanaians are hoping is that it continues like that, and it will be true. So let's just hope that it continues. But this whole idea of trying to rubbish it, that nothing is happening, I'll show you something. Then I'll move on. Shifting post. When they say something is shifting post, do you understand? It means people are changing what they are saying in order to adjust to what is happening. First they said this, but when things started changing, then they shift the post and they say this. And when things start changing again, they'll shift the post again and say that. That's what I see my dear Baumia doing. Shifting post. First, your position was this: when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. Now the exchange rate is solid. So all of a sudden, now that it is solid to the point that it has started affecting even the GDP, the growth, it has affected inflation. The solid impact of the stability of the city is being felt in every area. Fuel prices are coming down. Now that we see all of this, the position has shifted again. Where has it shifted to? Oh, it was my idea. Everything that is happening now is something that I planned long ago. These were my ideas. Really? The very ideas that you guys put on, the very ideas that you say there was no policy, the very ideas that you say was nothing, all of a sudden you have shifted the position so that you can take credit for these ideas. Folks, so that's all I'm saying, folks. For me, nothing is more important today as we speak than for all Ghanaians. I don't care what party you belong to. It doesn't matter, it doesn't make any difference. I don't care where you come from in Ghana. I don't give a hoot about your tribe. I don't give a hoot about your religion. I don't give a hoot about anything. The only thing I'm saying is that if all of Ghanaians can decide, say, Charlie, if this country succeeds, it succeeds for all of us. So if by any reason we are seeing signs that things are changing and they are positive, the least we can do is say, what do we have? What do we have to support this? Let's support it and let it grow. Because when it grows, we benefit. That's all I keep saying. So that we stop this pettiness of nothing is happening. And yet I even have heard a few strong NPP people who have reluctantly or willingly admitted that whatever way you look at it, things are improving. My good friend, I think Dr. Ahmad, they call him Striker. He had something small to say. Listen to Striker.
Atufosin presented himself well. He was well composed, and I think I would say Ato did very well. except that they've been so truthful, realistic.
Not just him, I think even Chairman Sabunsu has waited and small. Of course, they are not going to go ahead and say this is the greatest thing that has ever happened to this country, but at least they admit that Otan or Okwedio Kra, no Akamfo America, they admit that whether they disagree with him or whatever, at least something positive is happening. Listen to Chairman Sabunsu.
Well, I make I say, on my moon, sick as so Nenisua, make I say, on the face of it, the Obama pluses and okay. Don't forget, say, at a point in time, inflation, NDP administration, at a point in time, Koya could do over 50%. Then within the 12 months, na SOT. To the extent that it was hovering around, I think, 21% or so. NDC by an annual, as I perform, I been single digit. And the inflation, I perform about single digit. No, I think it's positive. We hear no interest rates, Ukoji Bank, Bissia, and also Kosro, inflation in India, and also Kosro. It went as high as about 32-33%. Ye fish on an abafom about 22-23. And nay abafom kakra deal sub 20. I think it's the region of 18-19 and also a positive, even though so year inflation at abafom by more than 10 percentage points. I also think interest rates in abafom more, but we say quarter loaf is still better than that. And we hear interest rate here. Then exchange rate, and so at a point, in baby could we I call the official, was about 16 cities. If it's no, now a bafum to about 14 cities. And they and this buy a bafum to 1050. Now we na a pejadum kakra call about 12 cities. Indeed, even 12 cities in the crown from 14, there's about 12. I say, oh my idea. And it's all share. Sani mana, you rate a buying, say my idea. Then let me also talk about the establishment of the gold board. So I don't see something positive.
Folks, so may I actually extend my respects to Chairman Sabunsu to Sticker. Not for anything, but it is good for Ghanaians to understand that if we're going to build this nation, it can never be done with sycophancy towards party, so that even when things are going well, you refuse to acknowledge it. If you won't support it, all I'm saying, what are you doing? Keep quiet and sit somewhere. If you won't support it, that's all. But the fact is, things are changing, and what everybody in Ghana is now saying, oh, Sanema to say dear, Sanema ko say dear, which simply means people have admitted that changes have happened, but they are only praying that the trajectory continues. Otherwise, they would have been condemning left, right, and center, but nobody's condemning you, at least not the intelligent people. Let me quickly say this before I move on to my next subject. There's this biblical saying, those of you who are Christians and those of you who read the Bible, it says that only a fool says in his heart that there's no God. Can I borrow small of that scripture and use it in a different way? When you look at how things are going, I'm not saying anything is perfect, I'm not saying we have arrived, but when you see the positive direction that we have started on, only a fool will say nothing is happening. Maybe, you know what I want to talk about next, folks? The unfortunate stampede. Oh my goodness. It happened in Accra and Kumasi. Kumasi, there were a lot of injuries. Thankfully, there were no deaths. But in Accra, I think 6 people lost their lives.
The casualties we have that came through were 28 in number. those who are dead are 6 and not 12. Those who are critical and are in ICU are 5. We have 12 who are fairly critical. The rest are stable. Thank you.
It was a stampede. I think they said that there were about 20,000 people who were rushing to Al-Waq. Why? Because they want to join the Ghana army. You know, sometimes people who are academic will sit down and they will start referring to certain statistics about reports that have come up. Oh, the UN report says that there's so much unemployment in Ghana, or so and so has done a research and they say there's so much unemployment in the youth in Ghana, blah, blah, blah. Everything is academic. But honestly, folks, you don't need any academics, research, and report to see certain things. What happened when 20,000 youth, the youth is the future of Ghana, the youth is the energy of Ghana, the youth are our next leaders. This generation that we call the youth, they own Ghana. This country belongs to the youth. They are the future. Now, folks, when you see the images, over 20,000 youth struggling to get application forms to fill for the Ghana Army, the only thing that it tells you, folks, you don't need any scientific report to tell you, say, we have a massive unemployment problem in this country. Look at these speeches. That's all. Look at people climbing over the walls, hustling, men and women. Look at this hustle. 20,000 youth. And you're waiting for a report from the UN to tell you about the rate of unemployment in Ghana youth. What about them? You see it. It's on your face. You see it when you get to the junction of every traffic light in Accra here. The beggars. You see it when you go into the villages. You see it everywhere. You hear statistics. And let me tell you something. When people are applying to join the Marines in the US or to join the Army in the US, you know, they have a slogan that says, join the Marines. And the slogan is, the few, the proud, the Marines. Muntio, they are called the few, the proud, the Marines. Because trust me, every single one of them who's going out there, who wants to join the Army or join the Marines in America, is ready to fight for death and defend America. America the Great. So they're going with that willingness. They're going knowing and hoping that they may get called so they go and serve America at a war and die if they have to. They are looking forward to be one of the few, one of the proud, to be one of the Marines. Let me say this. There are over 20,000 people in Accra that you saw, and I hear similar in Kumasi. Check out what was. Look at the people in Kumasi. Folks, you see all these people, all the regions, all the regional capitals. Look at the chaos. And you know, the sad thing about all of this, not to go and fight and die. Maybe there are a few who are thinking of fighting and dying and saving their nation, but I'm telling you, for most of them, it's an employment opportunity. Now, I'm not saying this to say that the Americans are better than Ghanaians. I'm not going on that level at all. I'm just saying that these are statistics that should point to us that we have a big problem in Ghana. So to JM and to the government, when I say we should all put what we have in to help build this country, these are some of the problems that are staring us in the face. Youth unemployment. What are we doing about it? And it is growing and growing and growing, and each year the number grows. So these are problems that we see as a nation. We're in your politics. This has nothing to do with any political party. This has to do with Ghana as a nation, the truth and the reality on the ground, and what all of us, every intelligent Ghanaian, all of us, should start thinking we have to do something about this, because it's a problem that is staring us in the face. Accra alone over 20,000. Imagine Kumasi voted the whole Ghana in excess of 1 million. How many of them is the army going to absorb? But look at the people who are willing. It is just a sign for me and you to understand that we live in the country, and if the youth who are the backbone and the future of this country is looking at such staggering, frightening levels of unemployment, you and I should be worried. And whatever we need to do, let us put everything we can in to do it. Because what we are looking at is nothing to joke about. And yet, Joko, when you're politics, I've seen a few people who have attempted in their own ways to politicize this. I won't even go there. I won't even quote them. It is very unnecessary and not relevant. The relevant thing is that we know where the problem is. And that's just a fraction of the problem. There are many others. That's why you and I, whatever we can do to back this country, to back the government, to make sure that we can take care of this problem that is facing us, which is clearly a national security. See all these millions of people. Can you imagine the power they have in their hands if they decide to no, after they are bread and they charge? We are watching it. And let's not just sit down and watch it and enjoy it and talk about politics. So let us watch it and think seriously what can be done to help this. JM has promised a 24-hour economy. When it gets to that, it will be help. I read the recent budget, the provisions it's making for even the local production of rice. You know, now they say that the budget, what they are hoping for to attain is that eventually all the secondary schools and the tertiary educations and everything in Ghana that has to feed the students in the boarding schools must buy made in Ghana rice. You must buy made in Ghana eggs.
Right, Honorable Speaker, President Mahama has also directed that all schools from basic to secondary to purchase rice, maize, chicken, and eggs produced in Ghana only. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, President Mahama has also directed that all schools from basic to secondary schools to purchase rice, maize, chicken, and eggs produced in Ghana only.
This is a step. So all I'm saying is that instead of sitting down and jubilating, say, oh, budget, how about whatever needs to be done, let us do it. Our farmers, those in the agri sector, their budget is talking about eventually free fertilizer so that you can farm. Folks, let's be serious in this country. Let's not be partisan. No. And the fact that JM is an NDC person and the party power is NDC, and so what? What if it was somebody else and the party in power was the United Party or the MPP, and we have seen this trajectory? Wouldn't it be intelligent that every Ghanaian who has something to contribute to building the nation? This whole nation building, and that's why I say, what time is it? And for those of you who have not seen the back, the back says it's nation time. And I know, because I've been promising these t-shirts. My producer is very angry with me anyway. Where's the KSM? We haven't given them anything. I know people who can deliver. Oh, he's gone way ahead of me. So I beg you, today I'll meet with the producer and then we'll find out ways and means to get this all-important message to every Ghanaian that wants one. Especially those of you abroad, you have asked and asked us, as I see that you're all tired. Mufan Champion, why? Menyo! Menyo is coming soon, and December 5th, I think it's a national holiday. I think it's Farmers' Day. No, the real reason is that it's my birthday. And my say farmers no so far celebrating anyway. December 5th, there's Olu here, chop sister now. Many small boys. And there's something about when you're growing, especially when you get into your 60s, it's like you're in a hurry. Anybody in their 60s, when you ask them how old are you, they don't tell you how old they are. They tell you how old they are going to be. So even though I'll be 69 on December 5th, when you ask me, KSM, right now you ask me, KSM, how old are you? Because 70. KSM, where's the rush? Why you want to go over? I don't know. When you hit 60, you're in a hurry. I don't know why. Anyway, that's just about the wayside. But folks, I'll meet with my producer, Richard, who's also my editor, who's been handling me, and I'll listen to him. I'm a listening person. Because I'm getting old. But I'm sure very soon we're going to be announcing to you how you can get yourself one of these nation-building T-shirts. But let me end this way, folks. Let me end this way. Two things I said, that the budget is awesome. I want to congratulate Acto Forsen. I want to congratulate the Bank of Ghana. I want to congratulate JM. You are the head honcho. That you have kept the focus. Please keep that focus. Don't be distracted. Very soon, you know, our politics is just 4 years cycle. So very soon we'll be in power for 3 years already, and then to be the politics. And I may sidetrack you. You know, the same politics, it get to a point where the president becomes a lame duck. Just only to me be able to Jam, keep the focus. Show yourself that even if the status is called lame duck, you show to Ghanaians that you are the strongest lame duck this country will ever witness. Keep the focus, keep building, keep the trajectory going. And Ghanaians, let's back him and support him. And for all of you who are lazy, I'm even talking about the government appointees who are going to do things to derail the momentum, we are watching you and will come after you. So folks, that is what I've said for my first thing there. Let's all join together and build this nation, man, because whatever you do, we are on our trajectory to rise. And for those of you too who have suffered and have been maimed in a stampede, in your desire to get into the Ghana army or police or whatever force, and you've even died, it is so sad. All I can say on this program right now is that every life matters. So, look, we suffered a very sad tragedy a few months ago with 8 big wigs, when the nation came to a standstill because we mourned the loss of these 8 gallant men. Trust me, these 6 people who died in the stampede, whether they were coming from Kaswa, Mampo B, wherever it is, all lives matter. In the meantime, folks, I told the Bank of Ghana, all of you who are directly helping to create a stable currency and a stable country going upward, to all of you, I say, are you cool? And to all of Ghanaians, I'm saying this, trust me, if we all can all get up and join forces and be determined to build this country, no matter what happens, Ghana shall rise again.